everyone. This week you're going to be getting a really cool opportunity. You're going to get to write a letter to your future self. And what's really cool is that you're going to write this letter and submit it or get it to us, and we are going to mail it back to you the year that you graduate from high school. So when you go to graduate high school, you're going to receive this letter with all of these awesome memories in it that you've written down, things that you thought were important that you wanted to remind yourself of. And it's a really awesome surprise because most kids forget about it by the time they get their letter. And it's a really cool opportunity to be able to look back on the best parts of your 7th grade year. We've had many students who have come back to visit just to share with us how awesome it was when they got their letter. So this is a really fun activity for this week. And I just wanted to review with you. You're going to start working on your letter today and tomorrow. Wednesday is our remediation day, so you're going to make sure you check PowerSchool and look at anything that might be missing. Finish it. Send us a message if you have a question about it, and then once you've finished it, make sure you send a message in Canvas to let us know specifically which assignments you made up so we know what to go and look back at to give you credit. If you don't tell us you finished it, we don't know you finished it. So make sure you send us a message and tell us what you've done. Thursday, you're going to go back and finish up your graduation letter. Proofread, make any additional comments that you want to make. And then here's something that's really important. You have 2 options when you go to submit your letter. If you have nothing personal or private in your letter and you don't care if Ms. Herstein or I see it, and you want to just submit it electronically, all you're going to need to do is click the green submit button in Canvas, and we will get it. We will print it out and we will mail it to you in your graduation year. If you want your letter to be private, you don't want Ms. Herstein and I to read it, you have personal things in there that you want to send to yourself but you don't necessarily want your teachers to see it, that's totally fine. Send us a message in Canvas and just let us know, hey, I'm going to be keeping my letter private. That's great. And then what you're going to do when you're finished with it is you're going to print it and put it in an envelope. And when you come to school on your day to pick up your locker items, there will be a spot for you to drop off that envelope with the letter in it. We will not open the envelope, we will just mail it back to you in your graduation year. So that way you can keep it private, but we still make sure that you do it and we can give you credit for doing it when we see that you've dropped off your envelope. So those are the 2 options you want to think about. So again, if you have nothing private, just click the green submit button in Canvas and we'll take care of it. If you do want to keep it private, send us a message in Canvas and let us know that that's what you've decided, and we'll know to check for your envelope when you come into school to pick up your things. So, when you click on graduation letter, it will open up a window and you will see the Google Doc is embedded right into Canvas. Instead of seeing these 2 gray buttons up here, as the student, you're going to see that green submit button. And if you choose to submit it electronically, that's all you're going to do when you're done. Okay? You will see in this letter that there are lines that are blue. Those are the spaces for you to type. So you're going to simply highlight and erase this blue line, and you're going to type in your name. Highlight and erase the blue line, type in the date, and so on as you go through the Google Doc. The first thing you're going to write about is your most vivid memory of being a legend. The thing you are going to remember most from this school year is, write us a sentence or 2 about it. The next thing you're going to do is go through each of your teachers and classes and say what you'll remember most about in each class. So for math, you're going to highlight the teacher you had. Let's just say you had Mrs. J. Miller. You're going to come up here to the highlight button, highlight her name, and then you're going to type a sentence or 2. What will you remember the most about Mrs. J. Miller or about math class this year? Same thing for science, for English, for social studies, and for reading. Now, if you had a different teacher that we didn't think of, feel free to just type their name and add it in. That's totally fine. We also included your encore classes as well, a space for you to write a happy memory, something that you found memorable about your encore classes. If there's an encore class listed here that you didn't take, you can just erase that space. That's totally fine. And then the last one is memories of other teachers that you might have had with you in those classes, like Miss Januzzi or Mrs. Fitzroy. Maybe they were really special to you or helped you out a lot this year, and you want to make sure you remember that. There's a space to write a little memory about that as well. And this is one of those things that the more you put into it, the more enjoyable it's going to be to read when you graduate. So really try and be thoughtful about it and think about a good memory for each class, something that you will enjoy being able to look back at. Okay? The next part is any special memories from all of school so far, anything from K to 6 that you don't want to forget. So special events, dances, music groups, reading Olympics, drama, sports, clubs, field trips. You can list them, you can write a sentence or two about it. Any friends you don't want to forget, special memories you might have with friendships, because as we know, when you get older and you get into high school, sometimes friends drift apart. So maybe there are friends you have now that you want to make sure that you remember. Any other memories from this school year? Songs that were your favorite songs, a music group that you participated in or loved, books, TV shows, movies, computer games, anything else, doesn't have to be school related, but that made this school year memorable for you is something you could write about here. The final section of your letter has to do with your goals or your future. So the first thing you're going to do is highlight the option that is true for you, and then answer the questions that go with your choice. So your choices are, I plan to go to college, I plan to get a job right after I graduate, or I plan to go into the military. So you're going to highlight whichever one is true for you just by clicking the highlight button. And then you're going to answer that question that goes along with your choice. So what occupation means what job is it that you're planning on getting? And you would fill it in on that line. And that's the end of your letter. There's additional space below if there's anything else that you can think of that you really would want to be in a letter to your future self. Maybe you want to write yourself a little positive encouragement. That's entirely up to you. That's optional. But those are the directions for the letter. And again, once you've written your letter and you have Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to do this, because we want to give you a chance to really make it meaningful and special and thoughtful, you have two options to submit. If you don't care about keeping it private, you're going to click your green submit button up in the top right corner. If you would like to keep it private, you're going to click File, you're going to print it, and you're going to put it in an envelope to bring with you when you come to school to get your items. You're also going to send us a message in Canvas to let us know that that's what you've decided, so we know to look for your envelope. Enjoy this one. This is a fun one to do, and have a great week.